Hey guys, and welcome to Hump Day Happy Hour. My name is Christa,
And Kevin.
and we are the husband-wife team behind LCRC Raceway. We do a little podcast every Wednesday night called Hump Day Happy Hour, where we talk about all the things LCRC, etc.
It's way more than that. It's just all the things.
All the things.
Anything from family life and the farm and horses and toy cars too.
It's true. So hello, honey. Hello
Hi.
to everybody on the internet. Appreciate you jumping in. Oh, we've already got lots of people in the comments, including my friend Taylor DeLosa, who reminds us it's only 36 days till you are back for the Flashpoint season opener.
Either I was wrong saying that he said it was 40 days last week, or he can't do math. One of the two. Because I thought it was 33 as of today.
Hi to our friends Shane and Michelle, and there is Shane. Oh my goodness. And then we've got, Mike. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I guess Taylor must be jumping in and out. People are yelling at him. Sorry. Don't yell at poor Taylor. He can do what he wants. Braden asked about the Tracks of Sand car, which I've not seen. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Too many cars.
Hi to Robin. Hi to Alex. Hi to Tim. Hey, guys. A lot has happened since we saw you last Wednesday, I feel like.
Math is hard, Taylor says. Yeah, I mean, a lot happens every day. Like, I don't know. I don't even know where to begin to catch up.
It's true. Well, I will tell you a little bit about today. I had my first ever horseback riding lesson.
Yeah, and I don't even really know how it went, other than that you eloped and we're riding a 3/4 size Clydesdale horse today.
It's so true. So, some friends of mine, I hate to say this because it makes me feel so old, but I feel like we're all middle-aged women, decided to get together and take riding lessons together from our friend. And the first one was today, and my whole goal was that I wanted to be able to lope by the end of, or honestly, by the time I turned 40, I wanted to be able to lope. Which,
to my non-horse friends, that basically means she could ride the horse while the horse was running. Like, running.
Yeah, like
not just,
So, like, horses can run with their feet like this, but when they go like this at the same time, does that make sense? Like, the horse's legs are in and then out and then in and then out. That's a lope.
Yeah.
Does that help you? Anyway,
I knew what you meant, but I don't.
It sounded a little rough. But anyway, if you know, you know. So, crazy enough, I did that today. So we started off on a strong note. I had a lot of fun. The girls had a good time. I had a good time. My friend Alicia, it was like one of her first times learning actual skills. So that was fun. Got away and did something for myself, which I don't often do. So tell us about your day there, dear.
Yeah. I was in the store and trying to do some receiving. Bob had all the shipping handled. And you know how it goes. You think some days you can just, I'm going to receive the Mugen order and, we'll put it away. And then I'm going to order other things and do some work. And, the phone rings and customers at the counter and trying to answer some emails and get some things done. I think the only thing I failed on my to-do list today was working on the associated inventory clipboard deal. But I got my other honeydews done in the store, and
Kevin's also been really busy this past week preparing to lay tile in our bathroom at the farm. So I'm very excited about that.
So I didn't want to complain today, but my knees hurt so bad. Like, I really feel like I have like road rash, motocross crash bruises on my knees. and there's not a scratch on them. So it's like, it's awful. But hey, whatever. That's welcome to farmhouse life.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's coming along. It's a little bit closer every single day. So
yeah, it's close. But hey, so's the season opener. So we had I don't even, you might not even know. I had Burns working outside today.
I do know.
Tearing apart some stuff and cleaning up the. I really don't know if I want to mention all of it without leading into the next segment, but we can. We'll get to Burns's duties here in a bit.
Yeah, we can touch on that in a little bit. It has to do with one of our segments.
Yeah.
If you haven't joined us lately, we have broke Hump Day Happy Hour into different segments. Some of the things that you can look forward to tonight. We have a yard sale section where we have some items available at discounted prices. Do we have a Hot in the Hobby Shop tonight?
Do we have a what?
Hot in the Hobby Shop? Yes, we do have a Hot in the Hobby Shop. I couldn't remember because I wasn't working today. I was playing with horses.
So, yes, I have gel knee pads. Yes. And I just said to my wife in the last 24 hours-ish that I never thought I would say I need a new pair of gel knee pads because they're wore out. It's it's
anyway,
awful.
I was saying before you rudely interrupted me. This is why I can't put the comments in front of you because you literally will break off mid-sentence. Is that because you don't listen to me?
I'm sorry. Did you say something?
I was going to tell you that we have a Hot in the Hobby Shop section. We have an upcoming event section, which is going to include a preview of our oval race, the Dream Race, which we're really excited to have back. It's a weekend-long event that we're going to tell you all about in just a little bit. And then I have a surprise for you tonight, honey.
Surprise for me?
Yes. We have
I'm getting a raise?
We have a new section called Way Back Wednesday.
Oh, boy.
And tonight is the first Way Back Wednesday.
And who gets to choose that?
Well, I did because I do all of the production.
And
I get a raise. Oh, do you have more things you want to talk about before we jump right into all the things? Oh, and I forgot. We're going to dish the dirt. We have a dish the dirt section. I forgot to mention that one.
Segment or section. Is it a segment or a section?
It's both. It's whatever we say when we are saying it.
Oh, copy that.
So our dish the dirt segment will be at the end, and I'm excited to jump into that. So we have so much to cover. Should we get started?
Sorry, I was.
Do you want me to close those comments?
Sorry, I was too busy reading comments.
I know.
I like it. Sorry, I like it. My friends were talking to me.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
I'm ready. Let's move on. What's the next segment?
I actually don't know. What is the next? What do you want to do first?
I don't care. Let's talk about Burns for a minute and what he was up to today.
Okay, so then we are going to talk about upcoming events at LCRC Raceway.
Yeah.
We are so excited to be hosting the... Oops. Oh, man. That's not what I wanted. I thought it was going to be the Dream logo, but... I messed that up. Anyway, we are so excited to be hosting the Dream Race, which is a special oval weekend, and we have lots of announcements about it. Do you want to go ahead and jump into the biggest announcement, dear?
So, I don't know what you consider the biggest announcement, but I assume it's the fact that we've been dismantling the existing, I'll call it permanent dirt oval here, the Big Bank track. Today, Burns took all the guard railing down, and sometime in the next couple days, weather permitting, we're gonna skim off the little bit of good clay that's left, and stockpile that aside, and then sort of back to the farm for a split second. Our great friend Dale Steidinger is coming to do some. I don't know if you want to call it landscaping, but like we're gonna do some work around the farmhouse, and then when they depart from the farmhouse job, they're going to come here with a 953, and we're pumping the pond dry and pushing the Big Bank back where it came from, back into the pond, and leveling up that area. It's actually going to It's going to achieve many things. The Turn 2 crew has been growing and growing, so their area is very pinched off by the big banks and the slopes and all the things over there. So that's going to go away. It's going to make pitting not just for the Turn 2 crew like an off-road, but even the whole oval scene pitting over there. We're going to gain the ability to have some easy up pitting, like right around the track, like where a lot of people, some of the guys with maybe bad knees or, don't like to walk real far, they're going to have the ability to easy up pit right there trackside, which will be great. Not to mention it'll make the mowing and the landscaping and all the facility care much easier. I'm really looking forward to having a chance to get with Garrett and redo the oval in a more traditional footprint.
Yes. So if you're familiar with our oval now, it's a very high banked oval. Do you have an idea of the degree of grading?
Yeah, it was 21 degrees.
So about 21 degrees. Most traditional oval tracks, especially in our area, are closer to flat. There's a little bit of grading to them, but it's a more of a flat oval track. We are going to be switching the LCRC oval to a flat track. If you were here last year or if you followed the Dream last year, we actually hosted that on our off-road layout. And there was a lot of great things about it, but it didn't do justice to what we can do because it limited our time. Because we do have our largest event of the year directly following the Dream, which is the Mugen Challenge, an off-road race. So in order to be able to test out the oval, really work on the dirt and make it as good as possible, we are going to have a permanent oval track in place that will have that traditional layout.
Yeah, and a couple of the other things, that some of the logistical things that we maybe thought we had figured out with doing it on the off-road footprint, like the transition from the big driver stand to pit road to, final adjustments area and things like that. It just makes way more sense to do it over on the purpose-built oval.
Yeah, the oval track was built for that, so it's better set up for that. Yeah, totally.
For sure.
Yeah.
We obviously haven't done it yet as far as cutting it down and making it more traditional shape. And one of the other things that I was most upset about over the years with the big bank track was that when we did it, it was an oval, but it wasn't to the inch perfect symmetrical oval.
Yeah, that always really bothered him.
I couldn't stand it.
He couldn't stand it.
The two turns were so different, and even the two straightaways were so different, and the clay was really thick in one spot and almost didn't exist in another spot or two or three. So the goal is not only to change it and sort of make it the more traditional oval for this region, but also the soil will be consistent. I'm shooting for 24 inches. That way, over the years of erosion, if we want to super till it and dump a bunch of water in it, and then Harley rake the crap out of it, like you don't have to worry about peeling up any rocks or getting into some different base material. Like we have so much of our great precious soil from here stockpiled, and it's got all of those nutrients decomposed in it from all the sod and whatnot from building all the extra roads, and it should be magical stuff when we get it screened.
Totally.
But that's the next step that I didn't really discuss yet. So we get Steidinger in here. We're going to wreck the big bank, fill in the pond, fix that area over there, kind of flatten it out, make it not maybe exactly native, but make it one big flat usable area, and then we're hoping to bring in a big screening machine like we've had in the past, and what I've referred to as the grassy knoll. Some of you may or may not know what I'm talking about, but the grassy knoll, which is that huge pile of soil that we've been putting over there for years now, waiting for this moment. Not only to be able to get an abundant amount of soil to redo this oval and make it so user-friendly on the, what do I want to call it, the track maintenance, tilling, prepping side.
Make the dirt better.
Also be able to make some more dirt for on the off-road, which,
off-road.
I mean, listen, we're always struggling for enough dirt to build this big berm, and one of Dale's super cool, uphill berm, bank, slant, back down. Well, that takes half the jump dirt.
Yeah.
So if you make this big super cool feature, and then all of a sudden you have 2 double jumps on the whole rest of the track.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we want to screen this whole grassy knoll pile of soil and be able to, again, not only make this dirt oval like super la, but also produce some extra soil for on the off-road, and I mean, in reality, hopefully have a little stockpile left over for, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Spare, extra.
The other great thing that comes from putting it back to the oval is that we will be putting an oval in place. My late model friends, my Nitro late model friends, will be happy to know this will allow us to do some Nitro late model races during our off-road events as well.
Yeah, so I was trying to explain this to a couple of locals today. It's hard to fathom that when you describe one of our off-road event weekends, like, hey, run me through the schedule, what happens at one of these off-road races? And in the middle of it, I discuss an 8-scale late model oval race.
Yeah.
And they're like, "What? No, the off-road." I'm like, yeah. Well,
we know.
Listen, it's only like a 38 to 43 minute program, but it's cool. People like it. And they're like, "What?" So anyway, when some of our off-road friends kind of found out that the big bank track was going away, they got a little nervous. Some of them got a little upset. But good news is it won't be the big bank track, but it will be coming back.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping to get it done in time to be able to run a couple Friday night 8-scale late model races on it before the Dream Race.
Yeah.
We are not hosting any 10th scale oval races at all except for the Dream. Yep. So we're going to use these 8-scale deals.
Why did you have to yell at them for that?
Because I get asked a lot
Okay, but that doesn't mean you have to yell at them. Just give them the information.
Maybe I just had my microphone really close.
I know. I had to just turn you down twice because you were yelling.
Oh, well, turn me back up now. I'll stop yelling.
Yeah, right.
So anyway, it's good news across the board. Just to touch, Chucky, yes, we're actually, I haven't even...
I'm going to close you down. Stop reading the comments and jumping ahead. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Oh. It's a way to go, Chucky. You got me in trouble. Anyway, so the oval gig...
Plan.
It's looking pretty good. I actually spent quite a bit of time working some things over with...
Yeah, I do have some oval questions, so why don't we do that? So is it the same-ish run line as the Dream Track from last year?
Slightly larger, not smaller, but yes.
Yeah. If you do have any other questions about oval, just drop them in the comments so that we can jump in and answer those for you. Oval under the lights on Saturday night would be sweet. Yes, totally. Hi, Joe. We're talking about oval, so you're here just in time.
Yeah, he's like a full-time oval guy now.
Aaron says one time he gets it. You don't have to yell at him.
Aaron, have I ever yelled at you? Like in 2025, I have not yelled at you, not even once.
Taylor was wondering when our first 10 scale race is before the Dream. JK.
Just egging it on.
Um,
Egging it on.
yeah,
It's
nitro.
like you guys like watching me get in trouble.
Yeah, I also did push today. Egelberger was just saying that it would be nice to see some nitro late model. If you have not seen the nitro dirt oval late model races here, it is some kind of epic.
It's
There's
very wild.
really, like, just go onto YouTube and check out LCRC nitro late model. Those races are something to watch. We are going to add a class to the Dream race that is 8 scale nitro late model. So it'll be at the end of the program each day, but I think it'll be epic. There's just something about how the crowd comes and circles that track when you hear those late models, especially the nitro, just squealing around that track.
Yeah,
there's nothing like it.
And the actual oval crowd, they're used to, like, the old school guys are used to a little bit of nitro sprint car and stuff.
Yeah,
But they're used to like 15s and 18s, not 21s and big boy pipes. It's pretty wild.
I'm telling you, I don't care if you're inside your trailer. When you hear that sound outside, the hair on your back of your neck will stand up, and it is like, let's go racing. There is nothing quite as exciting as it. So I'm excited to have that be part of it. And is there anything you want to go over about the program itself?
Yeah, I actually have. I have quite a bit. I shouldn't say I have quite a bit. I have quite a bit written down. Meaning, basically, it's all the information that's going to be on the flyer. We're going to make it a 3-day program. We're going to roll in on Thursday, get set up. Friday, we're going to have control practice from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then at 7 p.m., we'll start the pit party. And again, that could include one of those 8-scale late model programs at 7:00. The problem there is I can't quite. It might have to be 7:05 because if we run controlled practice till 7 and get them out, yeah. Anyway, moving on. Pit party from 7 to 9:30, and then Saturday morning we'll have an 8 a.m. drivers meeting. Directly following that will be a 2-minute seating round. Then we'll move on from the seating round. We'll set up 3 rounds of qualifying heats. We will run race points like the other major oval events. They will be advertised as 4-minute heats. We do reserve the right to adjust that time depending on entries to be able to be finished at a decent time on Saturday. Sunday will be mains, obviously. That start time will be based on a 5 p.m. finish. So depending on entries and the number of races, we like to try to basically guarantee our racers that we have them done and doing the podium and whatnot by 5 so that everybody can get on the road and have time to travel.
I'm going to have to take these headphones out.
We're going to do 50-lap A's, 35-lap lowers. The other topics, classes, we are going to switch out Midwest Modified for EDM. And then Mud Boss-wise, we're going to have BL2, 13.5, and Traxxas Modified. I haven't got to talk to Christa about this yet. There are some questions about the Traxxas late model versus the Traxxas Modified. Don't flood us with questions about it yet. That is up in the air of what we're doing to handle that. And we are going to have a U15 novice class. Details on that obviously are still a little bit up in the air. As far as controlled tire, Mod Sprint, Mod Late Model, and EDM are all going to be on ellipses. Street Stock will be on the traditional sprinters. And then 360 Sprint and Midget will be on quasi-speeds. And then, of course, the Mud Boss, Traxxas late model or modified stuff will all be on their normal tires. Nothing special there. So.
Awesome. Mike was wondering what chassis they're running for the 8-scale late model.
Well, so if you really want to, quote-unquote, conform to our LCRC rules, the 8-scale late models that we allow here have to be based off of an 8-scale nitro buggy. You can't take the GT car. You can't get a purpose-built 8-scale late model oval chassis, which there's some really wild stuff out there.
Yeah.
We're all just running 8-scale buggies. It has to be the stock shock towers, the stock shock bodies, the stock A-arms, the stock drive lines, no 2-speed transmissions. Like basically you can fiddle with the insides of the shocks and the lengths. You can do whatever you want with springs. You can.
How about fuel tank size?
Well, that is a gray area depending on who's running tech. There has been a lot of debate there about, unfortunately, without directly calling him out, Shane Nipple, we've had some discrepancies in fuel tank size in the past. We've basically allowed, like the Mugen car, for example, you can put the truggy tank in the buggy, and we're just allowing it. Whatever, I don't care. It is what it is.
Yeah.
When we were running 100-lap races where multiple pit stops were an issue, maybe it was a little bit of a big deal, but pretty much everyone makes 50 laps now, so
totally
we go for it. And yes, you can run an electric one, but there's no grace. If you got to stop for a battery swap, you're on your own.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Did you happen to mention about EDM? Okay, great.
Yeah, EDM. We're gonna do away with Midwest Modified, and SC Mod is also going away. We're not gonna have SC Mod this year. We're gonna replace Midwest Modified with EDM, and we're gonna replace the SC Mod with the U15 novice class. And again, I apologize for not having more details on the U15 novice, but we've committed to make the switch. We'll discuss details moving forward.
I love it. Hey, is there anything else that we need to touch upon for Oval before we talk about some other event we have coming up?
We have other events.
Believe it or not.
I just want to apologize to all my local Oval guys. I really wish I could have gotten out a couple times this winter to run the sprint car. I didn't make it to the factory. I didn't make it to Pheasantland. I didn't make it anywhere except 15 minutes down the road to Richfield on Friday nights for carpet a couple times. So I'm sorry. It is a Moomaw family house remodel era in our life, and it's not because of lack of want. It's just
I think all racers understand that there are sometimes that ebbs and flows in your life. There's other things that you have going on. I was going to say something and now I forgot.
Did you just get caught reading comments?
No, I just got caught in my own thoughts. I forgot. I did want to talk about our other event that we have coming up, which is the Flashpoint season opener. Chucky asked a question about the track for that.
Chucky who?
Come on. Are we planning to do a new layout for the Flashpoint season opener, which is the weekend after Easter, the last weekend in April at LCRC?
Yeah, so newsflash, LCRC crew members, a.k.a. Shane and Gavin, we are pulling pipe Sunday night, weather permitting. So, yeah.
You didn't tell me.
Well, sorry. It's been, we've been getting flooded with questions of people wanting to know about, is the track open for practice? Can we come? Can we come when we can't? Well, dude, I just... Again, our life is so busy with so many things. You and I both are sort of major life event free this weekend, but then next weekend we both have a full plate of stuff going on, and then I think there's one more weekend, and then it's the race. So we got to pull pipe this Sunday and start moving dirt. So. I didn't even mention it to Steidinger yet, but or Cody for that matter.
Or your wife for that matter.
Well, do you want me to go get the farm cat so we can both run one?
That would be fun, actually. I don't know if Jason's teasing us or not, but he says, how many 10-scale cars will be there on Friday? do you expect to show up on Fridays? Is that like, Jason, are you asking because do you want us to pause the program for 10 scale practice? Because we usually do that at least once an hour. Well, I guess it does depend on how many show up. And I have no control over that. You have more control over that. Get all your 10 scale guys and tell them to come racing.
Yeah.
Anything else on the Flashpoint season opener? We have lots of other things to dive into.
I do have a couple more major things I want to talk about with that. But
Okay.
First, I want to go back to just a couple comments I saw. Aaron, yes, you're welcome. We're constantly trying to evolve and do the right thing with this oval gig. And yes, I do think EDM is a better fit. And again, we're working through things and trying to put on the best program possible. So, moving forward to the Flashpoint season opener. Big news: the giveaways and raffle items arrived before Christa even really started pounding the social media.
Yeah.
So I'm going to assume probably starting next week, she'll be promoing and showing off, showcasing some of the awesome giveaways we have from Flashpoint and Mugen.
Yeah, they really, really showed up this year.
Yeah, it's awesome. Thanks to Chris, Tim, and Adam over there at Mugen Racing. Things are going great. We're looking forward to, honestly, for me, when the banners aren't up around the track in the wintertime, I feel like apocalypse, like something's wrong, like Dorothy, where's Toto type thing.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to Burns spending a full day washing all the banners and Kevin Pipe putting them all
Alex
back
has been
up.
working really hard.
Yeah, we'll get things going, and well, actually, by next Wednesday, we'll have. I mean, there'll be updates out there. You know, the pipe will be off. I'm assuming most of the jumps will be wrecked, and we'll be moving on.
Yeah, and you guys know I will be posting as many reels as possible. Things I do a lot when we're redoing the track. I do a lot over on Instagram, so we're just LCRC Raceway on Instagram. That's a great place. I do share some of the stuff in stories too, so on Facebook you can see it in the stories. But that way you can kind of watch the process of that.
I keep waiting for the day I'm going to go to Crawling the Cat, and there's going to be a GoPro suction cup to the windshield.
If I didn't have so many other jobs, I'd love to just do that. Just do video production stuff all the time. Hey, we better move on. We have so much to cover today. Are you feeling good to move on?
Sure.
Okay. We are going to go ahead and hit the yard sale items quick.
Ooh. Yard sale. Item number 1 is that little tiny pile of stuff on that box over there. Okay. So I found this.
So the way that yard sale works is on lcrcraceway.com. There are 3 lots that are available for sale. I don't have the video on yet, honey. I'm working on it here.
Oh.
There you go. There are 3 lots listed over there on LCRC Raceway, and there are lot 1, lot 2, lot 3. This is lot number 1. How much is this, dear?
$40, I believe. It is an MRT transponder. It will work here. It will work at Richfield. It will work anywhere that doesn't have the most current decoder. I can't speak for some of the other local tracks, but I know it works here and at Richfield on both of our tracks. It still has all 3 of the mounting tabs. Listen, it's not in brand new shape. It's been roughed up a little bit, but it does work. The wire's nice and short. I did put a new connector on, so the plug-in connector is fresh. Brand new pins on it, and it's $40. I plugged it in and proved it was flashing once, but I'll do it again just for fun. There we go, and boom, power's on. Ready to rip. So
yeah. Okay.
Lot 1, $40.
Here.
Next up, this
Lot
is
2?
lot 2, and very hard to accurately describe. This is XTR lubricants. There's the lithium grease. There's actually 2 of those. There's the blue O-ring grease, which I almost kept one just for fun because there's 2 of those. There's the copper grease.
And this is an entire box of stuff, and the cost is $75.
And then I don't know how to show you all of it.
Here, I'm going to switch cameras if you want to
There's
look.
28 bottles of diff and shock fluid. Most of them are the larger. I think aren't they 4 ounce? Is that right? 200 milliliter bottles, and then there are a few of the 100 milliliter bottles. There's 6, 7, 8, 9 of the 28 are the smaller bottles, and those are all diff fluid. Most of the larger bottles are shock fluid, ranging anywhere from 40 to 42, clear up to 70, 75 weight. There's diff fluids range from 2,000 on up to 12.5, 15, 30, 20. Basically covers the entire 8 scale gamut. Again, almost. Well, you can see the fluid levels in the bottles. There are very few of them that are not half full or more. That's going for $75. Winner take all on that gig. And then the bigger shock bottles, I looked them up today. The bigger ones are like $16.95. The smaller ones are anywhere from $6.95 to $9.95. So, again, 28 bottles, I think, then plus I don't remember if that was plus the grease. I think it was plus the grease.
Okay, and then lot number 3.
Lot number 3, brand new, unopened RC10 B74.2. Sticker price is $529.99. It's going to be on sale as lot 3 for $349.99. This is a once and done. It's a brand new factory sealed kit. Again, going for $349.99. Normal in store $529. It is the factory team B74.2. If you have any questions, feel free to message, but pretty much speaks for itself.
Awesome. Okay, and there are your 3 lots. There are links in the comments, at least on Facebook. I couldn't get YouTube to take my comments. Okay, up next, what is hot in the hobby shop, dear?
I am.
Oh my gosh.
She gets so happy when I do that.
You mean
M17S.
Do you have one?
I do. Happen to have one. Too far away from my microphone.
He's learning.
I have one right here, and it is an M17S. You say, what is special about the M17S?
Yeah, so the M17 has been out for about 5 years, and they just dropped the M17S. We have it I guess it dropped in the last couple of months, right? Wait, you have an M17S?
No. I'll tell you why I don't after you get done with your little spiel.
Is that an M17? No, that's your M17. Okay,
this is
I'm
almost
sorry,
older than our child, okay? Like, this baby's got some mileage.
Okay. Are you going to tell us about the M17S?
I thought you had data
Okay,
sheet.
I can tell you about the M17S. I did my research today. So with the M17 would allow for an FH4 or an FH5.
That's correct.
And the M17S is only FH5 and FH5U. The FH5U is a superior receiver to the FH5.
Yeah, I don't know how they've made the latency less with the FH5U, but their claim to fame is quicker response time and better reaction from the FH5U. if you are an old school guy like myself, you know, I don't own an FH5 receiver. I've had an M17 for 5 years. This particular M17 is the first M17 to ever come into this building, and I've never used an FH5 receiver. I've always used all my FH4 stuff from my M12 days. But unfortunately for us old guys, they're basically really trying to push out FH4 and make everything FH5 and moving forward to this new FH5U. One of the claims to fame for the M17S that I'm actually... No, I don't really want one for myself, but I would like to play with it. They claim that they have this motion steering, that when you tilt the radio, it actually works the steering.
No way.
Yeah. I listen.
What else you got on your list? Don't peek at mine.
So another thing. Not really all that super duper, but the charge port, instead of being the micro USB, it is now a sub C.
It actually was a mini USB, and now it is a USB-C.
Yeah, whatever. I knew it was something. One of the reasons I'm blowing that off is because if you can see in my port, notice how the charge port is closed off. Because we actually take one of those magnetic charging pads and put inside the radio, so we sit, on our
wireless charging.
Yeah, on our LCRC power supplies, we have USB ports on them. And
we sell a kit that they can get to do that.
Yeah, I haven't had the kit for the radio in stock for a little while, but. Well, actually, I'm kind of glad we didn't, because now I have to change it up because we have to get the ones with the sub-C port. But you can charge your cell phone, you can charge your radio, you can charge your kids' radio. It works pretty good. Super happy with that. One of the sticking points that they still brag about on the new one, which has followed or been true with all of the M17s. And one of the reasons why it was so much of a big deal for me, it's 21% lighter than the M12. And I hadn't had my carpal tunnel surgery on my left hand yet. So my trigger finger and my wrist would start to go numb at about 3-4 minutes into a nitro race. And getting the M17, I could go another minute, maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes sometimes. And so that was a big deal.
Okay, but back to the M17S.
Yeah, well, it's got a lot of things. M17S. Yeah. Okay. You got more?
Oh, I do have more. Thank you for asking.
Give me more.
Hey, check this out. So, does this have a battery in it?
Yeah.
So, you see that display in the background? See how it's blue?
Mm-hmm. You can change the color.
You can change the color.
Whoop-de-hoop.
You can change the color. Also, the feeling function in this thing?
Mm-hmm.
How many steps does yours have? Do you know?
Like, how many steps have I taken?
No. How many steps can you take total? It's 7. You know what the new one has? 25 steps. So you can really fine-tune that feeling for your throttle or your steering. You're welcome. Also, the menu is faster because do you realize that we are a hobby shop and trying to sell this thing?
Yeah.
You are like talking them out of it.
I'm not talking them out of it. I'm telling you that these things are so technologically advanced.
Pitch.
I don't.
Best thing.
Sorry.
Do you want to know the best thing?
We have it for sale.
No, this is the thing that will change your mind about I forget what we're talking about. The M17S. They have a function where you can set one of your buttons to be your model select. So all you have to do is, does this one do that too? Oh, okay. Don't act like you didn't know.
No, so the M12 was awesome for that, right? And then when they come out with this thing, it's awful. And it was the major thing that we all complained about this radio.
Because it didn't do it?
Because it didn't have one button memory.
Yeah.
So like the M12, you would hold down a button, and when you turned it on, it would take it to one of the 3 models, depending on which button you held. Mm-hmm. So when we complained about that, I knew that was coming, and I sort of read a little something about it, but I was in such a hurry I didn't read it well enough. So I'm glad you did. Good job. You win.
I feel like you're trying to talk them out of the thing I'm trying to talk them into. Yeah, so anyway, what I was trying to say is there is a new option with the M17S that if you hold the trim button or whatever button you select, you can hold it and turn the power button on and it'll take you directly to that model. So you can choose a different button per each model, and you just hold that button while you're turning it on and it'll take you directly to that model. I think it's a super handy mod. Yeah, I think it's very exciting.
It is. It is exciting. It's super exciting.
I can tell. Okay, moving on. What's next?
You win.
I don't know.
You win. You got it.
Gosh. Just work with your husband, they said. It'll be fun, they said.
Who said? No one said that.
Gosh, nobody said that. Matt says the kit battery with my M17S was DOA right out of the box.
Oh, that's not good.
Awesome. Fortunately, I had the ProTech 5000 milliamp 1S. Okay. Or I think it says 500. I'm not sure, my glasses don't see that far. Matt Adams said it's made of unicorn horns and spaceship parts. That's what I was thinking.
Hey, Willard, you should contact the hobby shop you got it from. Maybe they could do some warranty for you sight unseen.
Okay, cool. Good to know, Shane. Shane says the M17 does have the direct model select if you hold down the left silver button while you power it on.
Yeah, but it does, Shane, and you're right, but it is nothing as simple. It's not anywhere near as simple as what the M12 had or what Christa's actually referencing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that button brings you to a model select menu, and you still have to push a bunch of buttons and do stuff. Yeah.
According to somebody was asking Willard about the actual menu. I think the menu is the same, but they do say it's supposed to work quicker. It's supposed to be faster. They upgraded to a 16-bit processor in it. So that is helpful.
Yeah, and it's
too.
some kind of digital or analog over digital or vice versa or something.
I didn't catch that one. Okay, so that was what was hot in the hobby shop. Want to dish the dirt?
I love dishing dirt.
Let's dish the dirt. Hopefully you're not argumentative during that. Here we go. Let's go ahead and dish the dirt. Oh, I just deleted you. How did I do that? There we go. And you're back.
Wow. You really are, man.
I'll dish the dirt without you. Okay, so if you were with us last week, we did some dishing the dirt on the roar situation at the on-road carpet nationals. I made a reel off of it, and even before I made the reel, we got tons of attention over what we had to say about being a roar host track. If you want to watch that, the entire video is on Facebook and YouTube. Basically, we just covered what it was like and what our experience was as the host track in the past. And then we also talked about the contract that we had to sign. Made a reel that so far has about 13,000 views. We got mentioned on our reel was shown on the No Name RC podcast, highlighted in the Ran Out of Talent podcast. You wouldn't believe it, but the Slow is Fast podcast even mentioned us. So I would say that it bears that we have to kind of come back. There were so many comments and more discussion that we're going to touch on the roar thing and just kind of highlight some of the stuff. I really want to highlight some of the things that we heard in response or also like added to that conversation. I really had no intention on coming back to the roar thing again. I felt like I did not want to beat a dead horse on this. and I also don't want to feel like we're beating up on Roar, but there is some really great conversation. And because what we talked about last week did get some traction, and I think will make a change. And, we heard from a lot of people that are part of Roar that said, thanks for sharing that. So I think it bears that we talk about it a little bit more.
Yeah. This goes, I could get in trouble in so many ways in this conversation, not just from just too long of a story, going down a rabbit hole, this direction, that direction, the whole bit. First of all, those guys all volunteer, and I've been on that side. I've actually, I've worked for the RMT at several events in my career, and dude, it ain't easy. So, casting judgment on them for the job they do or what they do, be careful, because it's a hard job. And did I mention they're volunteering?
Yeah, I would say my favorite on that part of the topic was what No Name RC podcast said on that, which is that they are all volunteers, and that the problem is not that the volunteers don't want it to work, but that kind of I would put it like, this isn't how they said it, but I would say like the machine is bigger than them. Do you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes if the machine is bigger than you, or if it's designed in a way that doesn't set you up for success, you can have the best meaning people, like they mean the very best, and it doesn't necessarily set them up for success.
I've never heard you say it like that before, but I really like that the machine is bigger than they are. Like there's so much involved, and it goes from the cursed Roar motor list, the battery list, the fuel tank gate, man, you gotta be kidding me. There's just so much. And I remember back to short course days at one of our ENATs where they had to turn the shock collars up and down on pit road on the short course trucks, because if they had them down at ride heights where they wanted to race them, they wouldn't slide through the spreader bar box. So the mechanics were turning the collars down to get through tech, and then turning them back up in pit road, and then turning them back down to go through post tech. And there was video coverage or video footage of somebody doing it, and it was, come on, it's a lot.
Well, I don't really have any problems with the rules, because we can all make rules and everybody has to follow the same rules, right? So, for me, it's not even that as much as I have been a long proponent of that I think Roar should obtain. Like, if we're going back to the conversation started all over sponsorship and promotion on the live stream, I really think, and I have been a long proponent for years, I've said this, that Roar should be obtaining the sponsorship. This is a comment we actually ended up hearing from some of our sponsors, is that would be better for them, because they're currently having to handle 2 sponsorship proposals, one from live broadcast and another one from the track itself. I heard this exact same thing on the Ran Out of Talent podcast, is that they had to choose kind of which one they were going to be sponsoring. So I really think, and I think this for several reasons. I think that Roar should be obtaining the sponsorship. Number one, because for me personally, I felt like that was a very overwhelming task for a track that is trying to make a living in the summer and already has so much going on to try to continue to make a living before you add this additional thing in. That was just really, really hard. Number two, you're making up a sponsor list, right? Like I work with the same sponsors all the time that don't necessarily fit into the box that I needed to fit into for fuel nats. You know, fuel nats versus I can't go after my battery sponsor that's LiPo batteries for fuel nats. Where Roar could create one extensive sponsorship list that they could use for every one of their events that would work for, you know, here's your list for off-road, here's your list for carpet, here's your list for, and be able to reach out to the sponsors, build those contacts, because it does take a long time. If you're working with new companies, it's hard to figure out who you should be asking, you know, which email is the right email.
That's one of the biggest problems, is knowing the right person to ask. You know, you might reach out to a company that would be more than willing to write you a couple $1,000 check. But if you don't ask the right person or send the email to the right inbox, you get ghosted.
Yeah, of course. And we all know. I mean, like, I feel like as a business owner ourselves, we understand that. Like, there are times that we're not able to respond to every request that we get. So unless you're, like, in the know, if you're the right person, then you know. The other thing that I would say from a promoter standpoint, and this is a conversation that Keenan and I had, is that as LCRC, when we go after sponsorship, I want to be able to show them the product that I am selling them. Okay, so like as a promoter, if I promise you something, I want to be able to tell you exactly what I'm going to give you. I think Roar should want to do that. They should want to be able to ensure that people who are paying to sponsor a national are getting what they that should be part of Roar's responsibility.
Well, and at that point, doing it that way, the consistency of the quality of product, and
it's not up on depending on who's running the track. It's all on Roar.
Yeah. There's definitely great benefit to that. And, you know, we've been through it enough in our tours of duty with them. The money, like the entry fee income versus what the track gets out of that, which they are working to make that better. I've heard that they've upped the entry fees $20 a whack, and that entry hike is going direct to the track. Okay, which is great. But it's still the math doesn't quite work. If the entry fee went to the track, but in return, the track couldn't sell any sponsorship. They just straight up got all the entry fee. And then Roar had the ability to sell all of the advertising on site, on paper, on social media, the whole bit, right? According to the sales pitches that I've received from the Roar people over the, better part of 2 decades now we've been doing this, what's easy? There's tens of thousands of dollars out there. So so what Kevin is saying is, over the years, when we have said that honestly there's not a ton of money to be made from Roar race, really because of the income you're getting versus the extra expenditures that you're doing for a Roar race, that it doesn't make a whole lot of sense if you're a successful RC track to go with a Roar race. And what their rebuttal always is that, you can get thousands of dollars in sponsorship dollars. If that's so easy, then Roar should be really happy to do that. So I spent a little time doing some math today, and the actual numbers are sort of irrelevant in this conversation. But I will tell you that this upcoming 8-scale national at Thornhill, if Thornhill received I have to be careful because I don't want to speak out of turn. I don't know how well they do with selling sponsorship. So
they could.
I can't imagine that they have a Christa.
But I'm not good at that.
Well, you're better at than you give yourself credit for.
Oh.
Anyway, based on our previous experiences, if the track got all of the entry money versus, and then Roar went and sold the sponsorship, if they sold the sponsorship for, say, 20 grand,
Mm-hmm.
across the board sold the sponsorship for 20 grand, and I know what they pay the RMT members. I used to know what they spend on awards. I'm sure it's a little more now. That 20 grand, I mean, it doesn't leave much left over, but it pays the bill.
Yeah.
Okay. And the host track then makes out a little bit better. Oh, wait. No, they make out a lot better. You know why? Because they don't have to do all that legwork, hunting down all that sponsorship and dealing with all that crap.
Yeah.
And they're then not going to be the ones responsible to put up all the freaking banners and then take them down, because some people want them sent back, some people want them saved, blah, blah. You know, Racer Joe is going to come over and take my banners and take them to the next race and the whole bit, right?
Yeah.
Roar sells the sponsorship. Roar takes care of all the advertising. Roar makes sure all the banners are shipped wherever they need to be, whether it's to Joe Blow, Roar RMT guy's house, who is 4 hours from the track and driving there, or sent to the track and stored in this Roar staging area, whatever it takes. And then when the RMT shows up, you know what? Here's a screw gun and some screws, boys.
Get to work. And
Go do what you
honestly,
promised.
this is something we're familiar with our motocross background. You know, when we showed up to ATV motocross, it may have been the same crew traveling around to all of those races, and they knew how to show up and put the race on. So they would come with all of the marketing materials and whatever. And I think, to your point, you know, Jason wrote in the comments, he said, the funny part is Roar already in the book states that they own the media rights. Yeah. My favorite quote was out of the Ran Out of Talent podcast, where he was like, when that track owner said that, hey, if you don't let me do this, I'm going to shut this down, Clayton or a member of Roar should have said, okay, go ahead, you signed this contract. You don't own this track for the next 4 days. You know, like, you've signed away your rights to that. And I liked this idea. If there's a contract in place that states that you're going to do this, they do have, and in 2012, that's exactly how we would have said is, hey, listen, if you don't do what you said you're going to do, you can expect a lawsuit. And we would have believed that. My point to all of this is not about being a jerk, okay? My point is, it is not easy as a track to be both the promoter and the governing body, okay? Because here's the part of this. When you're the promoter, you want to be everybody's buddy, okay? You want to talk customer service. You are wanting to show them what you're going to give them. You are the Christa trying to meet people with a drink. Like, hey, how can I make your stay here a little bit better? When you're the governing body, you come in with an iron fist and you are letting them know that it's my way or the highway. And if you don't like it, too bad. This is the way that we're going to do things. So what I'm getting at is there is a place where you have to pick a lane. And if you're going to be the governing body, there is an iron fist that comes with that.
I agree. I do. I have a little bit of a hard time with some of the verbiage coming from that podcast about Roar. You know, when you sign that contract, Roar owns that track for those days. I don't know about that. That's debatable.
I think if they would have just simply said rent instead of own, you would have been happy with it.
Yes.
And the point is the same. The point is that you've you've agreed to follow certain rules. And we've read, I mean, we didn't even touch on the rest of the rules about when you're going to water, when you're not going to water, the other rules that you're going to follow. You are signing away your track for the weekend. It isn't up to you. You've agreed and signed your name to say that you're going to do what they ask you to do. And there's a lot more information in that contract.
We could be subject to a lawsuit, just so you know, honey. Because we've signed, well, I guess we only really signed it once, but we've agreed to have those races how many times? And in the host agreement or in the contract, whatever you want to call it, there was a line that said you had to submit a proposed track layout picture or drawing or something.
Yeah, you didn't do that, did you?
I never. No.
Steven Saychuk says, you have to be a Roar member to go to a race. Last time I signed up, it was $65. That is actually one of my notes that I have written down here is over the years, we've asked one question repeatedly. And when we talk about having another Roar race here, especially back when there was this region was stronger and they were having regional races, and I love the idea of that. But the problem is with the Roar fee being as much as it is, it's hard to pitch that to racers in our area that aren't necessarily going to nationals and just want to participate in an event. What do you tell them that they're getting from it? And that is a question we repeatedly asked. And quite frankly, there's been a lot of people, volunteers with Roar, that say, I agree that there's not really a great answer to that question. And unfortunately, regional racing just kind of died in this area because of that. Well,
you got to give J-Mac and Steve Merck a little credit for that back in the day.
It was next level.
Yeah, those guys really worked hard to have Roar Region 2 have that series, and that really kickstarted our, ended up having 2012 Fuel Net, and then, man, it snowballed from there.
I want to say I think the best thing that Jason Mechanic did when he was regional director, it wasn't that his title at the time, regional director?
Yeah.
Anyway, is that he had it was either once a month or once a quarter where all the regional track owners jumped in on a phone call and just talked about a couple of key issues. That was really, there definitely should be more of that. And Roar would be a great place to see that kind of thing. Like when we're looking for reasons that Roar works, that could be something. But unfortunately, that takes a volunteer, or maybe it takes a paid person to be able to go that level, because that's a ton of time.
Well, and you have to get all the track people to come together and be willing to do it.
Yeah,
and then
they can really help each other.
Yeah. I mean, scheduling conflicts and things like that. I mean,
yeah, there's a lot that came from those conversations that, I think it was transformative. It was really cool.
Yeah. It definitely helped us back in the day. I mean,
Do you have anything else to talk about on the Roar thing?
No. I mean, listen, I could go on for hours. There's tons of little sidebar things I could ramble on about, but I don't, you and I even talked about this when we were making our outline for today, that I think it's all been said, or at least enough of it's been said.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted, we wanted to tie a bow on it.
Yeah.
And kind of seal up some of the conversations, and I don't know.
Listen, it's tough. I mean, again, we've been on both sides of it, and
And I told Keenan that, in our conversations that, Kevin and I have been involved in a lot of different kinds of racing over the years. And let me just tell you, do you ever remember a type of racing where everyone liked the governing body? There's always complaints about they take too much money. There's always complaints about they're not doing enough. It really doesn't matter how much they do. So there is, just by being the governing body, you are kind of set up for failure right off the bat.
If you think Roar is crooked and money grab in RC.
Careful.
Yeah, wow. It's definitely it's worse in other areas. I'll just put it to you that way.
Yeah, I like that. Hey, it is well past our hour,
Whoa.
but I did want to share. We have a new it's not section. What'd you make me call it? We have a new segment called Way Back Wednesday.
Oh, good grief.
And I wanted to show you guys. We've been talking so much about the fuel net. So I wanted to show you a 2012 overhead shot of LCRC Raceway versus this is 2024. I just kind of wanted to pop back and forth. So, we were so excited about what we had built way back in 2012. We shared last week about how we had put so much money into the place, expanding the camper parking, but you can see in this picture here, the roads are dirt roads that were just the grass being like ran over enough.
Yeah.
We thought that we would never see this many people on this facility at one time ever again. We were mind blown by it.
Yeah, from the candy striped circus tent back, that's not even mowed grass. That is literally a hayfield that we ran a bush hog through.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not really fit to pitch an easy up and pit back there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, car park, that was it. Oh boy.
Mm-hmm. Here's another view of it, what it looks like now. So you can just see all the different roads, and the camper lots obviously have expanded, and electricity has expanded, and it's just really...
Yeah, we had, in 2012, we would have had 700 amps of service on property in 2012. And now we have, 1,800? 8.
I don't know.
7, 13.
More than we used to.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're up to 1,700 now, or 1,800, something like that. Something crazy.
Anyway,
A lot.
super proud of what we've built, and I just wanted to pop over there and just show a Way Back Wednesday photo of LCRC Raceway. Kevin thought I was going to dig out a way back picture of him, I think. He was a little nervous about that, being a surprise.
Is this your way of trying to get me to learn how to do a little bit of your side of it so that I can sneak attack you with a Way Back Wednesday?
Like you would know how.
Anyway,
friends. I do have one other thing on the Way Back Wednesday, and I knew you would actually like this, but you won't be able to hear it unless you put that in. So here is the back in 2012. Here was the A-Main video that... Oops. There. Let me go full screen.
It was an awesome video, by the way. That's the old Neo buggy guy. Back of Pat Risser's head. Cowboy's dad. That was Tim Long.
No way. That was Johnny right there. There's your Way Back Wednesday right there. I love how the Chuggies look like trucks.
The old Daytona turn.
It's just because this is so loud. Look at, did you see yourself running?
Look at that baby face.
Gunner. Joe, there's Joe.
Oh, it's Born Horse, wasn't it? Huh. Let's rocking the goggles. Oh, buddy Bob.
Joe says baby Joe on crutches.
Mm-hmm. Back when the lighting was really bad. That was a good layout.
Mm-hmm. So there you have it. There is your Way Back Wednesday.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, the video was epic.
it was.
It
pretty
was.
good.
Hey, that's it for us tonight, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We hope you enjoyed it. We love hanging out with you guys and hearing from you in the comments. So thank you, and we will see you next Wednesday.
Sounds great. Can't wait. Thanks, dear. Good production.
Hey, last time I ended it, and I thought I turned off the mic, and I didn't. And people are like, live mic, live mic. Did you watch to see what I said?
No. What did you say?
Nothing. Oh, not that one. This one. Bye, guys. Have a good night.